Hello everyone and welcome to the second instalment of Science with me, Mrs. Broser. I hope you are all well and keeping safe. So today we're going to be doing another science experiment using probably things that hopefully you have lying around at home and that your parents don't desperately need. And it's going to be a bit gross, but it's quite cool. We're going to do some predictions and see who's right and who needs to work on their science knowledge. Okay, so what you'll need today is some oil. I've used sunflower, but you can use vegetable oil as well. I've got my food colorings. I've just used blue and red, but you can use whatever color you want. I've got a jar with some water in it. I've filled it about 3/4 full. You can use a glass, just a normal drinking glass if you'd like, that will work as well. I've also got a bowl, I've got a fork, and I've also just got a spoon rest and some tissues just to make sure everything's a little bit tidy. So what we're going to find out today is what happens when we put a mixture of oil and food colouring into the water. Okay, so start thinking about some previous experiments that you've done before. Okay, I'm going to put about, well, I would say it's probably around 3 or 4 tablespoons of oil into my bowl. Again, I've just used a normal cereal bowl, but you can use whatever kind of container you have. And then I'm going to pour in the food colouring. Now, these food colourings have the safety tip, which is very good when you're cooking, but for this we actually need quite a lot. Okay, so I would say pour in, you know, a good few squirts, and then I'm also going to use the blue as well, just to make it a bit more of an interesting colour, make it a bit more stand out. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a camera going over me like a professional would, so you won't be able to see what's in my bowl, but when you do it, you will. It comes out quite speckly and not mixed in at all. So we need to use our fork and we need to make sure that we mix that all together nicely. It still looks a bit grainy, especially around the edges, but that's fine, that's normal. Okay, so I'm going to leave my fork on my rest, and then I'm going to pour my mixture into the water. Okay, so be very careful, depending on how you're pouring it. You might need an adult to help you. Okay, before I do that, oh, that was close. Before I do that, let's pause the video. What are your predictions? What do you think is going to happen? Have you done these experiments in school or at home before? Oil, water, what's going to happen? Okay, I'm sure you've all written down your predictions. Let's go. So you saw that very clearly, that the water, I'm just going to put this white piece of paper around there so that it's clearer rather than my blue top. We've got a rogue one that's at the bottom, but other than that, all the other food colouring and oil mixtures went to the top. Okay, now that's really interesting. Does anyone know why that might have happened? Okay, so the reason why it happened is, as usual, the oil has floated to the top. But what's happened is that the food colouring and the oil mixture is so heavy that it's sinking to the bottom. Now, over time, we should see that it will start to float to go to the bottom. Okay, now you can see that the mixture is slowly, maybe I can try and bring it forward a bit more. Don't know if that's any better. That is a bit better. You can see that some of the colors are really coming down, and if you can see it in real life, then it's even cooler to see. So why is this happening? This is happening because the mixture is too heavy and it's floating to the bottom. Now, eventually the food colouring itself will start to blend in with the water, whereas the oil will not and will go to the top again. Okay, now it might take a few minutes, maybe even an hour for it to re-separate. But don't worry, the cool bit is to see how it separates and how it floated to the top and then sinks down again. Okay, so it is really, really exciting. This is why I love science. And hopefully you will be able to see the same results that I saw. So stay tuned, and I'll see you again next week for another science experiment. Bye.